Let's see here. It's going to start in 8 minutes, so we got plenty of time. Hey, Todd, how's it going, man? Hopefully you guys can hear me all right. We're just getting ready for the watch party. Actually, in 3 minutes, if we go to Mopar Insiders, I can actually start talking about it because the embargo is over with. So you guys will actually see, I'll show you guys the vehicle and talk a little bit about it, and then you guys can watch the reveal. But in 2 minutes on the channel, there's going to be a video that goes live from the actual event that I attended to 2 weeks ago. So make sure to watch that too. That's actually a really, really good video. So hold on a second here. Let me get everything back up so you guys can see me. All right. Here we go. So we're going to talk about the vehicle a little bit, and then we can watch the Jeep stream when it becomes live. I know Jeep's been doing stuff. Whoops. I know Jeep's been doing stuff. They've been doing stuff like this whole afternoon, which is kind of cool. What the heck is going on here? Hold on here. I don't know what is going on. There it goes. Now it wants to load. But anyways, this is the 2026 Jeep Cherokee. So again, 2 weeks ago, I actually got to see this vehicle in person. Got to walk around it. Bob Bordendorf and Vince Galante, who's head of exterior design, Ryan Nagodi, who's the head of interiors, as well as Mickey Bly, who's head of powertrains, actually got to sit and talk with us in the media. And we went through the whole vehicle, and it's actually a cool vehicle that I'm very excited about. Now, a lot of people have had questions about this. This is not an electrified vehicle. Like, it's not a full electric vehicle. It's a hybrid. So basically, what we've been telling you for a long time, that 1.6 liter Peugeot-based PureTech engine is here, but it's been changed. They've radically changed it for the North American market. So now it uses a Miller cycle, kind of way. And then also it's paired to an exclusive to North America 3-speed hybrid transmission with 2 electric motors. And then on top of it, it's got its own battery pack. So you do not plug this vehicle in. You basically, you just go to the pump, fill it up, and whatever. But the remarkable thing is, with this new 1.6 liter hybrid setup, again, it's got full-time all-wheel drive, but you're getting a combined 37 miles per gallon. That's over 500 miles on a tank of fuel. So, I mean, this thing's pretty awesome. And, again, I can't wait to get my hands on it. We didn't get to drive it or anything like that. This was just a reveal to the media beforehand so we could write about what we've seen and whatnot. But you can go on the Mopar Insider, or not Mopar Insiders, but the Mopar Junkie YouTube channel and watch the whole media reveal. I recorded the whole thing. So you can see Bob Bordendorf and, Mickey Bly talk about the powertrain and everything. So it's like a half-hour long video. But it's probably one of the most in-depth videos you'll see, other than them probably doing like a 10-minute spiel tonight. So again, they went through a lot of stuff with us. Now, this is one of 4 vehicles that Jeep is launching in North America till the end of the year. So the Cherokee comes first, and then we're getting we're getting the revised Grand Wagoneer, and then we're getting the revised Grand Cherokee, and then on top of it, they're also redoing how the Wrangler and Gladiator are. So basically what they're doing is they're going to make it so it's more customizable. So there's going to be huge reveals coming up soon. So we're going to see the Grand Cherokee next, and then probably the Grand Wagoneer. So they've already been teasing the Grand Wagoneer. They've been teasing the Grand Cherokee for a long time, but there's a lot of stuff going on at Stellantis right now. Them trying to pump out all this product that they've been working on a long time. And again, this vehicle will launch exclusively as a hybrid. And this is a very important vehicle for 3 reasons, and I go through that in my video here. The first reason is it is a return to the Cherokee nameplate. It's been on hiatus for 2.5 years. So February 2023, it was over at Belvedere. Now the Cherokee's back. And again, with the Cherokee being ended in Belvedere, the very sad part about that was ultimately was the fact that Jeep didn't have a vehicle for the D segment. And that is the biggest segment behind full-size trucks in the North American market. It's the most competitive segment because there's more offerings than anything else. But as in terms of volumes of sales, the D SUV segment is second to only full-size trucks. And Jeep, which is known as an SUV maker, did not have an entry. Now, the Wagoneer S, yes, that is a D segment vehicle. It's based on the same platform, the still large platform, as this vehicle. But the thing is, with that vehicle, it's all electric. So it's a premium vehicle too. So it doesn't compete with the mainstream D SUV vehicle. So basically this will compete against like the Ford Bronco Sport, or actually correction, sorry. It'll compete against like the midsize vehicles like the Toyota Highlander and stuff like that. So there's a lot of, how can I say it? A lot of drive from Jeep trying to push this vehicle into the segment. And they wanted to make sure that it was not best in class and everything, but did everything really good. And the main focus is the price. You guys will flip out at the price because usually Jeeps have been getting more and more expensive. So Bob Bordendorf basically told them, like, hey, I want a lineup of affordable mid-sized Jeeps. And what they did was, instead of just packing the thing with, oh, we got a passenger screen, oh, we got this, and we got this tech and this tech, all the trims basically have the same tech package other than like an upgraded stereo system. And there is no passenger screen. They really went to detail on what the pricing structure is, and when I show you the pricing structure, you're going to flip out because it's very competitive. So the one thing that Bob did too was he actually made it so the destination price is included in the prices I'm giving you. So the base Cherokee, there is no Cherokee Sport, it's just Cherokee, will start out at $36,995. The Laredo, $39,995. The Limited, $42,495, and the Limited will have like more premium features than that. And the top of the land Overland, which is this blue one here that you're going to be seeing, that one is $45,995. And again, that includes the destination. So Bob Bordendorf was like really trying to gun down on, pricing that. We've seen it today too. Jeep Canada came out and said, hey, we're knocking off 11 grand off the Gladiator. And now the Gladiator starts out at $50,000 in Canada, which is a huge discount compared to where it was. So Jeep is getting way more competitive. Bob wants to bring the Jeep back to where it was during the 2000s. He's made it very apparent. But the cool thing about this vehicle, and hopefully they'll talk about it, is the fact that this vehicle was designed by a team of a lot of people in the Jeep design studio who grew up with the XJ. So if you look at this vehicle, yeah, it looks very modern, and it kind of does have that Grand Cherokee L look to it. But if you look here, how the hatch comes down, it's exactly like the XJ. There's little XJ kind of hints here and there. And if you look at the front, how they blended the headlamps into the grille, that's exactly how the XJ was. It was very, like, the headlights and the grille shared the same bezel, and now this vehicle does too. So it's boxier. They wanted to make it boxy. They wanted to give it that traditional Jeep look, not the jelly bean look that we see on every freaking crossover. They wanted to stand out. The only thing I can say that I wasn't really appeased by in the design was the fact of the front end. In the front end, it has these like U-shaped kind of LED DRL kind of things. And with that, it kind of looks like a Land Rover. It looks like the new Land Rover, the Discovery, right? But what they have done is they've kind of mimicked the shape of the old XJ kind of lamps. So I kind of see that, but the tail lamps, I thought they looked kind of dorky on some prototypes that I'd been seeing on the road, but after I spent some time with them, they looked really good. The interior is awesome. Now, a lot of people are going to hate the fact that he went to a rotary dial, but they did that for a reason, because they freed up a whole bunch of interior, so now you have a huge area to charge your phone and stuff like that. The vehicle is wider, it's taller, and it's longer than the outgoing KL. So now the Compass won't cannibalize it, which is good. Like I said, the interior itself, there's no leather in this vehicle. There is a cloth option, but the leather in it is just like all the new leather that they're going to. It's like recycled materials, and it feels just like leather. They will offer 2 interior colors, basically Arctic. It's like, or sorry, it's like a I think what they call it, polar white or something like that, and then global black. But again, you can't get a passenger screen on this vehicle. The 12.3-inch Uconnect system is standard across the lineup. The 10.25-inch digital cluster is standard across the lineup. So again, it's about, cutting cost a little bit to make sure that everybody can have an affordable Jeep that looks good. But my favorite thing that they did to this Jeep compared to the Wagoneer S and the Dodge Charger Daytona, because they're all shared on the same platform, is the haptic buttons. I've been complaining about the haptic buttons big time. On this vehicle, the haptic buttons, you can kind of see them. Let me see if I can blow this up so you guys can see a little bit better. You can see the haptic buttons right here. They are a gloss black. They're not cheap plastic like the other ones. They actually have they're actual cold to the touch. So much better than what's on my Charger. Like night and day difference. It does have the new squared off steering wheel, just like the Dodge Charger does and the Wagoneer S. But again, the interior, super clean looking, very efficient, but not overdone. Bob's been listening to the forums and stuff, he said, and people have been complaining, like, I don't want a passenger screen. Like, that's freaking pointless. I just want an affordable Jeep. And this is what he's done. So again, this is a little bit bigger than the Wagoneer S in room size. They'll probably talk about that during the reveal. But overall, it is a spectacular vehicle. I can't wait to actually spend time in it. They laid it out really, really good. I'm actually more impressed with the materials in this thing than I am with my Dodge Charger Daytona. So that's saying a lot. And again, it's not an electric vehicle. It's a hybrid with 37 miles per gallon combined. So if you fill this thing up, you're guaranteed to basically a 500-mile range. And basically you can go from Detroit to Chicago and back without having to fill it up. So the interior, if you go through and watch the video, if you watch my video through the end of the video, you'll see one of the other automotive journalists that were there. And he was sitting in the back and he was taller than me. And I asked him, I said, how's it feel back there? Did you have enough leg room? He goes, oh yeah. He goes, I have a ton of leg room. And he was like 6'4". And I'm 6'1", and I sat in the back and I had plenty of room. So, but I'm very excited about this vehicle. This is exactly what Jeep needs. This, actually, we know that Chrysler's working on a D-segment SUV that's going to be based on this. So this is a very important vehicle because this powertrain, if it holds up to what they're saying it will do, it's going to be in a new Chrysler crossover. And it's going to be making its debut, if you read my article the other day, it's going to be making its debut in the Compass as well. So 210 horsepower, 230 pound-feet of torque. Not a whole lot on power, but it's still pretty powerful considering the segment. Uh-oh. We're getting into the live event here. We're going to turn the music down a little bit. But anyways, they... basically it tows 3,500 pounds. Now, a lot of people will be asking, where's the Trailhawk? The Trailhawk is coming. It's not here yet. All of these Cherokee base models do have, if you can go on and read the stats, they do have really good breakover angles and, departure and approach angles. The vehicle itself has 8 inches of ground clearance in just the base models. But there is a Trailhawk model coming with obviously skid plates and all that. They didn't show us that yet. They're not ready to reveal that just yet. But they said that will be coming later in 2026. So if you're waiting for a Trailhawk, it's going to be coming. But it will probably launch with a hybrid powertrain first. They said the first year will be exclusive hybrid powertrain, but they're looking at other options. So that could mean, hey, we could get a 2-liter, Evo, i4 turbo engine in it with 300 horsepower. We could get that. But the hybrid engine is what they're really pushing for because people are asking for hybrid engines. A lot of people have been asking for a while, where's the hybrid engine? They want hybrids, and Jeep is offering this as an option. So Bob Bordendorf made it simple. Cherokee had a couple major factors that he needed to have. Needed to look like, have the, how can I say it, the street appeal as a Jeep. It had to look like a Jeep. If it had to be like a Jeep, it had to be as capable of a Jeep. So this does have Jeep Active Drive Level 1. So again, we'll probably see, you know, more 4x4, you know, capability coming with the Trailhawk and stuff like that. They might even do something else. We don't know yet. But they've told us that basically that they are going to offer that later. So Antonio Filosa is going to be talking. Let's go listen to what Antonio has to say, because I'm very curious, because this was his baby.
More law, please. Welcome to all of our guests joining us virtually on our live stream. Thank you all for joining us tonight. What a thrill it is to be here in Domino Park, surrounded by the energy of this incredible city and the heartbeat of a Jeep community that knows adventure, innovation, and bold spirit. Today, we are here not just unveiling a vehicle, we are celebrating a legacy. More. Our beloved Jeep brand has been recognized as America's most patriotic brand once again for the latest 24 years. With a legacy of iconic moments from pop culture to military wins, Jeep is essential to the very fabric of who we are as a community. And the Jeep Cherokee, which we will reveal in just a few minutes, has been an original influencer for nearly 5 decades. And now it is back and reimagined from the ground up to influence the next generation of midsize SUVs. New York has always been a special place for Jeep. It is a city of explorers, of dreamers, of doers, of influencers, of go-getters, the seat of power. And it is a city that never sleeps, never quits, and always makes a comeback. So it is no surprise that the Jeep team selected New York for tonight's return of the great, majestic Jeep Cherokee. New York is one of Jeep's most vibrant and vital markets, and the largest market in the world for this vehicle segment. Whether you are navigating the 5 boroughs or escaping to the Catskills, the new Jeep Cherokee will be your trusted trailmate. So tonight, we welcome you, our loyal Jeep fans, our neighbors, our dear dealers, our media partners, and our great Jeep colleagues to witness the rebirth of an icon. Now it is my honor to introduce the man who has been steering Jeep into this bold new era. Please turn your attention to the barge to your right and join me in giving a warm Brooklyn welcome to the CEO of Jeep, Mr. Bob Boderdorf.
Can I get a mic check? How we doing out there? We ready to go? Oh, this thing is amazing, the energy right now. So hello, Brooklyn. Welcome to all the Jeep fans joining us live all over the world, and welcome. And thank you to Hurricane Erin for giving us some breathing room. We hope everyone along the coast stays safe, and as the Jeep brand CEO, I can't imagine a more legendary backdrop for a legendary moment for a legendary brand. Look at this, the Williamsburg Bridge, the sun setting on the world's most iconic skyline, and Lady Liberty standing up for freedom just off in the distance. It's a fitting scene for Jeep, an iconic brand that has stood for freedom, adventure, authenticity, and passion. Right from the moment the first Jeep Willys was airdropped during World War II more than 80 years ago. That word, iconic, it gets thrown around a lot these days. But to be considered an icon, you must stand for something. You've got to be instantly recognizable, culturally relevant, and unmistakable. Icons must be willing to climb mountains, cross the Rubicon, and navigate every kind of jungle, concrete or wild, with equal confidence. But above all, an icon must be an original that can stand the test of time. The Jeep brand not only fits that description, but wears it as a badge of honor. This is a brand that always had one eye on where we've been and a resolute focus on where we're going, by beach or by barge, by any means necessary. Oh man, you can cheer. It's gonna be a hell of a night. Now, while I'm new to the Jeep CEO role, I am not new to leading our brands. And I've learned one thing that always remains true. You don't start in the boardroom. You start with people. You listen to what they want, what they love, what they live for. Then you build from there. That's how an icon stays an icon. And tonight, I'm looking at hundreds of Jeep owners. You're not just our customers, you are the soul of this brand. And we're not going to talk around you. We're not going to make decisions without you. Because we know that every drive, every adventure starts with the people who drive us. So here are the big moves from the last 12 months. Last year, on the other side of that bridge, we introduced our first all-electric vehicle in North America, the Wagoneer S. In the big game, we featured two icons, Jeep Wrangler and Harrison Ford. And we also brought pricing down across nearly every single Jeep we make. And because you asked, we unlocked new options, new colors, and new features. We've given more customization back to the customer where it belongs and launching all new products. It's all part of a $3 billion investment this year alone to make Jeep vehicles people love. Now I know what you're wondering. What about the Hemi V8? What do we do with that? Jeep fans, don't worry, I got you. It will live on in the Wrangler and come to more Jeep nameplates as well. And in the next 4 months, the bases are loaded for Jeep. We'll reveal 4 new or refreshed Jeep vehicles before the end of the year. From the refreshed Grand Cherokee, the refreshed Grand Wagoneer, and the all-new, all-electric Jeep Recon. And new, starting today, our latest entry. Now that's what I call a 4x4. Just like you, we love this iconic brand, and we are shifting it into 4 high. Tonight, we celebrate the original influencer of SUVs in a way only the Jeep brand can and has for decades. In 1974, the Jeep brand changed the world with the first SUV. We called it Jeep Cherokee. For half a century, it continues to influence generations. It became part of an American culture, starring in music, film, and in memories for millions. That's why we set up this 4x4 Jeep City Camp for everyone to take a walk through memory lane. Because where we came from matters. A few years ago, Cherokee stepped off the trail and left the market. But we didn't forget. We regrouped. We listened. We reimagined. Tonight, we're bringing back an original. An OG reborn with more. More standard content. More capability. More safety features. More cargo room. Better fuel economy. And that signature bold, boxy style is back. The Jeep Cherokee is back to do what it does best. Drive the next chapter for the Jeep brand and influence a new generation. So let me introduce you an America's original influencer.
Influencers aren't new.
Don't call it a comeback. I've been here for years.
In 1974, the original influencer burst onto the scene.
Jeep Cherokee is the triple award-winning 4x4.
Boom, explosion.
It influenced people to get out there.
How you like me now?
It influenced families to spend time together. And it even influenced an entirely new category.
We wrote the book on four-wheel drive.
Years later, it's still influencing.
Mama said knock you out.
But instead of collecting followers, it creates a following. Instead of fishing for likes, it takes you fishing for real. Instead of scrolling, it keeps people rolling towards their next adventure. The all-new 2026 Jeep Cherokee.
Damn. Ooh. Don't call it a comeback.
Jeep, there's only one.
Let's not call it a comeback. Let's call it the all-new 2026 Jeep Cherokee. Born for freedom and adventure, built to explore, and styled to stand apart. The 2026 Jeep Cherokee is built to deliver on everything. We're talking a more powerful, efficient, turbocharged hybrid with over 500 miles on a single tank. An estimated 37 miles per gallon, no plug, no charging anxiety, and no pain on your pocketbook. Perfect for the everyday adventures and anywhere else the Cherokee takes you. Even as an ultra-efficient hybrid, it delivers unsurpassed towing, 3,500 pounds. There's even 30% more cargo room over the previous Cherokee. That's more room for all your gear and your family. Cherokee provides the capability that only the Jeep brand can deliver, including best-in-class departure and breakover angles with up to 20 inches of water fording. It's built for hell or high water. And by the way, that's before the Trailhawk even shows up. Tonight doesn't just mark Cherokee's return. We are barging back into the segment we defined more than 50 years ago, redefining it with this all-new Cherokee. Yeah, we're coming. So, my last thing. Now, you may have recognized that voice in the commercial just now. That's the voice of a global icon, sprung from the borough of Queens, known around the world as an absolute authentic, and like the Jeep brand, an American original, always charting his own course. He's a hip-hop pioneer, a rock and roll Hall of Famer, a style icon, and a man who spent considerable time in the back seat of a Jeep. Ladies and gentlemen, please direct your stage for LL Cool J.
All right. Well, I can't play that music, but anyways, that was it. That was the reveal. But no, we can talk a lot about this vehicle now. That's the good thing. And like I said, overall I was really impressed. The build quality and finish on this vehicle is really good compared to like Cherokees in the past. I will say that, yeah, it kind of does suck that it's going to be built in Toluca, other than, being built here in the United States, like Belvedere. I think Belvedere would be a good suit for it, but what Bob told us was it's going to start production in Toluca. He said start, and that could leave the door open. I mean, this is an exclusive North American vehicle for Canada and the US. It's not going to be sent globally, so it would make sense if somehow they got production here. So, again, we're going to learn more about like the Trailhawk coming up probably later next year. But right now, if you guys like, I'll answer some questions for you, and then you can go through and watch the whole media reveal. I did a whole video. It's like I said, 32 minutes long, where Bob and all of the powertrain, like, well, I should say, Mickey Bly from Powertrain, Vince Galani from the exterior design, Ryan Nagoti from the interior, went through everything on this vehicle. Now, somebody just asked about pricing. The pricing's up on Mopar Insiders, and again, the pricing is pretty dang good considering what you're getting. So the base Cherokee, again, there's no Cherokee Sport anymore. It's just Cherokee, $36,995, and that includes the $1,995 for destination. Laredo will be $39,995, again, including destination. That includes it. Limited will be $42,495, and the Overland, which you've seen climb the barge there, is $45,995, $46,000. So again, each vehicle is coming well equipped. There isn't going to be like a passenger screen or anything. Bob wanted these vehicles to be, fitting everybody's pocket and be under 50 grand. So to me, it made a lot of sense. Now, the Limited and the Overland will actually launch before the end of the year. They will be in dealerships by November, sometime in November. The Laredo and the base model, the cheaper ones, will launch in the first quarter of next year. So again, dealers are already taking orders for these things, and hopefully we'll see the production kind of shift to the US. I would love to see that, but overall this vehicle is really, really appealing. Again, it's on the Stella Large platform, so it's the same underpinnings as the Wagoneer S, the Recon, and the Dodge Charger Daytona, except for this one, instead of being electrified, this is the first one that is going to be a hybrid. So again, you don't have any plugs, you don't have to, worry about range anxiety. You go to a gas station, you fill it up. There's no plug-in hybrid, technology. There's no all electric. You basically just go to a gas station, fill it up just like a normal hybrid, and it does have a battery pack on board, and it does have a 3-speed automatic transmission with 2 electric motors. But basically at low speeds, it does electric driving. So again, that's where you're making up your stuff. So in start and stop situations, you're basically running on all electric. But in everything else, you're running on gas. So again, it's a really good technology. Hopefully this powertrain really proves to be what they hope it will be. There's been a lot of questions considering that they went to a 1.6 liter from Peugeot, but again, what Mickey Bly told us was, hey, this engine is very different than the ones that they use in Europe. They basically redid it. It's got a Miller cycle combustion to it, and it's a, what did he say? I can't remember if he said how many parts are different, but he said it's vastly different than the 1.6 that they have. But he said that, the transmission and the battery pack are exclusive to the United States and Canada. The motor itself is built in Dundee, Michigan. The transmission is built in Kokomo. And the battery pack, they didn't disclose where the battery pack comes from just yet. I remember one of the media people one of the journalists asked where the battery pack came from. Then they didn't say just yet. So, but again, for the price, I mean, you're getting the same powertrain across the board. Here's a Limited here. You're getting the same powertrain across the board. If you get the base model, you're getting cloth seats. But again, it's a very roomy vehicle. I was really actually surprised at how roomy it was when I sat in it. You do have more headroom than the Wagoneer S, which is nice because the Wagoneer S has this sloped back roof, because if you look at the back of the Wagoneer S, it does have a spoiler to it. This vehicle has way more cargo room, and I think it'll be great for families. I couldn't believe how big the cargo area is on this thing. So, again, a lot of promise in this vehicle. Jeep is really relying on this vehicle to kind of shake things up in the D segment, put them back on top of the D segment. And they asked, one of the journalists asked, why are you bringing the Cherokee name back? Aren't you worried that's going to create, controversy and blah, 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 blah? And Bob basically said, hey, we bring it back because it's one of the most recognized nameplates, and it pays homage to, a great American vehicle. And that's what they're doing. So again, if you look at some of the body lines, like how the hatch is and stuff, that's XJ there. The boxiness, you can kind of see it looks like it has a slope, but it really doesn't have much of a slope to the roof. It's just how the roof's painted on this Overland one and how the DLO or daylight opening is. But it is very roomy. It's very boxy. It's very Jeep. Overall, it's a very impressive vehicle. And you can go on Mopar Insiders and look at all the photos and stuff. I mean, again, there is quite a bit to say about this vehicle. So, I mean, if you guys have questions, I'll try to answer them right now. But if you want, like I said, on my channel, there's a video that's like 30 minutes long. It's the entire presentation that they gave us to the media. So you're getting a background kind of video, something that usually you guys don't see, but completely unedited. So, let's see here. This needs a Hurricane engine option, single turbo. Well, again, this is about efficiency. And a lot of people have been asking for hybrids, and this is their very first hybrid. So 37 miles per gallon combined is not a bad thing. It has 210 horsepower, 230 pound-feet of torque, and again, it can tow up to 3,500 pounds, which is basically it's the class leading. So again, if you actually look at the other vehicles in its class for range and stuff, this thing's going to, hopefully if it holds up, like I said, this new powertrain holds up like they say it does, because they've said they tested over, I think, like 2 million plus miles. Hopefully this powertrain will be really good, and you'll see it, like Mickey Bly told us. He goes, you'll see it in many new vehicles coming forward. This is just a start. So again, we're going to see it in the new Chrysler C6X crossover. We're going to see it in the new Compass. My sources confirmed that this will be the powertrain that will launch the new J4U Compass here in North America whenever Brampton gets open again. Hopefully the tariff situation gets dealt with, even though it doesn't look like it by any time soon. But the new Compass will have this powertrain as well. We've heard that Dodge is going to be looking at a D-segment SUV because they need something to replace the Journey. They need a mainstream SUV. And the thing is a lot of people have asked, because this is still a large platform vehicle, is this more front-wheel drive based or rear-wheel drive? It is full-time all-wheel drive with a front bias to it. So it does have more of a front-wheel drive setup. So if you actually had to look at the platform, it's more of a front-wheel drive kind of vehicle. It is not like the Charger Daytona and whatnot, but this is more of a front-wheel drive setup. So I know a lot of people have been asking about that. Let's see here. Love the style. Needs more punch. Finished watching the reveal. The launch could have been better. Good to see. Yes. Don't be afraid of honoring Native Americans. Exactly. Look at the great example. We look at the Washington Redskins, right? People were complaining like for a long time, like, oh, the Washington Redskins, they're dishonoring Native Americans. They get rid of it, and the Native Americans are the ones that are standing up saying, hey, you're erasing our history, and now there's talk about them going back to being the Redskins. So, let's see here. This is a pun-friendly environment. Which Chevy, because I see... What? Which Chevy, because I see way XJ than Chevy. Somebody say it looks like a Chevrolet. But yeah, I mean, overall... Let's see here. Thinking about this powertrain, how reliable and long-lasting could it be in America? Hopefully it's not going to be the PureTech 1.2 wet rubber belts. Yes. And again, this is based on that 1.6-liter PureTech engine. But again, Mickey Bly said it's been completely revamped for the North American market. So this motor is not going to be sent to Europe. It is exclusive for the North American market. It is built in Dundee, Michigan. It does have the same engine architecture, but it runs a Miller cycle kind of operation to it. So... yeah, I mean, 210 horsepower isn't, like, obviously class leading or anything like that. It's not, like, wow. But you got to remember, this powertrain is launching as an efficiency powertrain. So this is an option for those who don't want EVs, but want, continued, increase in mileage. Again, it's going to launch as a hybrid, but eventually it will get different powertrains. So it could be in 2027, it could be in 2028. They never said. They're more focused on launching this product than telling us what's coming down the road. Because again, this is a massive project for Jeep. They didn't have anything in the D segment. Now they have the Wagoneer S. The Recon is also going to be a D segment vehicle. But again, the Wagoneer S and the Recon are global Jeeps. They are going to be sold around the globe. The Cherokee is exclusive to North America. And the very important thing to know about the Cherokee is, again, it is launched as a hybrid. The other two are going to be EV only. Now, we've heard about the Recon going to be possibly a hybrid coming up. But again, they're launching that as EV only. So the Recon will make, if a lot of people have asked questions about the Recon will launch in November. Okay, it will make its debut in November and will be starting to ship out probably in the first quarter, is what we heard. So a lot of people have asked questions about the Recon. Again, the Cherokee will probably beat it to the dealerships here. So I'm just trying to be honest with you, but they've been really working on the EV things, solving all the EV problems before they release something like they did the Charger Daytona. They learned their lesson with the Charger Daytona and, excuse me, and the Wagoneer S, because they had to launch those in order to get government money. And since then, they've been doing over-the-air updates. I mean, my Charger Daytona gets an over-the-air update every freaking week. I come out and there'll be like 2-3% lower battery to it. It's because it's hooked up to the Wi-Fi in the house and it just uploads all the time. Is the cars perfect yet? No, I still have a few issues with mine. Like my automatic screen disappeared, and I think it's because I had an over-the-air update and I stopped it. So I gotta wait for the next over-the-air update to kind of correct that. But again, the vehicles just keep getting better and better. The other thing with this vehicle too is if you purchase one of these, you get what they call, Connect One is what their new name is for it. And basically, if you buy a Cherokee, you're guaranteed 10 years, the first 10 years of ownership, they will do over-the-air updates to constantly improve the vehicle. Okay, so again, if there's software stuff, they'll constantly improve it and you won't have to go and pay for any updates or anything. So that's kind of cool as well. Dude, that's awesome that your 2014 Sport V6, that's awesome. I would love to see a Pentastar under the hood of one of these things. I think it would be great. Or at least the turbo, Hurricane 4. I think that would be a cool engine too. I'd like to see one with like 270 horsepower plus. I think that would be cool. But there is more stuff coming. Again, Jeep Active Drive 1 is going to be the only all-wheel drive system offered right now, and then we'll be getting, obviously a Trailhawk model, and hopefully we'll be seeing something with a low gear. I know a lot of people have said that. A lot of people have asked like questions already about, hey, hopefully this thing will be able to be like not trailered, but towed behind an RV, because a lot of people did that with their, KLs and stuff like that. As far as I know, hopefully the Trailhawk will have obviously a neutral, so that will be flat tow. We don't know just yet. They haven't released any information about the Trailhawk model or any other models other than these four base, or the base, the Laredo, the Limited, and the Overland. But the Overland, again, for you're getting $46,000 for it, and it's pretty much loaded to the gills. There's not going to be a whole lot of options that you can choose. There are a number of colors, though. They're offering 8 different colors. So you're going to get, like, there's white, obviously black. There's a silver color. Obviously, this is Hydro Blue. That 41 olive drab color that's on the Wrangler and Gladiator, that's coming to this. Red Hot, which is a color, if you looked at the Dodge Hornet with the bright red color, that's coming to this as well. And they also have a new color called Copper Chino. And it's an actual metallic, like, brown with gold in it. That actually looks really cool. They showed us a quick clip of it, but they didn't show us the actual vehicle in that color. The Copper Chino is the color that really stands out. So there's a bunch of colors coming for it. Again, they talked about they're going to do more colors in the future, like kind of do the Wrangler thing where they're kind of switching up colors a lot. So we'll see that in the future too. And we know that Mopar is already working on a ton of accessories for this thing. So you're going to see, like, probably, rooftop carriers. There's been talks about maybe doing some Overland stuff for this thing going forward. So that will be cool too, because a lot of people have a lot of interest about, buying an affordable Jeep. And of course, this is a D segment. This is a pretty large D segment vehicle. So again, this is like 30% bigger. The wheelbase, I think, is almost 5 inches longer than the KL. It is, I think, I want to say like 3 or 4 inches longer than the KL overall. It's, I think, 2 inches taller, like 1.7 inches taller, and it's 2 inches wider. So there is quite a bit of room. They wanted to make sure to do that because they didn't want it to be cannibalized by the Compass like it was last time. So this vehicle does grow a little bit in size, but overall it does have 30% more cargo volume. And when, like, I was really impressed. If tomorrow you'll see a YouTube short on here that I'm posting of a walk around of one, and the cargo like room in this thing is massive behind the second row, to the point where we originally thought it was going to be like maybe a third row vehicle. They could put a small third row in there for like toddlers. I mean, they could do it, but they won't. But it does offer a lot of cargo capacity. And they have cubbies in the back too, which is nice. If you open up the floor, there's a spare tire under there. There's an actual full-size spare with a steel wheel, which is nice. So you don't have like one of those inflator things. You do actually get a spare tire, which is really nice, because like on my Charger Daytona, they don't have anywhere to put the stupid tire because of the Fratsonic chambered exhaust. So basically I have an inflator kit, which doesn't do a whole lot, because I had 2 flat tires in one day in that thing. So, but yeah, I mean, overall the package is really nice. Let me see. You know what? The video should be live. Let's go over. Let me see here. Give me just a second here. Give me just a second. We can go down here. I think, did I put the video in here? No, I did not. Let me see. Give me just a second here. Let me go back to my channel. Right here. I'll show you some of what Bob said and what they did to us, and then you guys can go watch the whole video. I'm not going to play the whole video on the stream, but you guys can go and watch it. So this is all of what they showed us when we got there. This is what they talked about.
Adventure, it's an understatement. But that's what the Jeep brand is all
Well, you're
about.
probably not going to hear it. It's going to sound echoey because of... It's going to sound echoey. You have to go listen to it to yourselves. But anyways, you can see here Mickey Bly. He's head of powertrains for Stellantis, the whole entire company. He talked about everything that, what they worked on with the powertrain. They also had Vince Galani. And in here, right here, let me see if I can pull it up. Vince actually talked about the dimensions. Here's the dimensions. So this is the KM overlapped with a KL. So it's almost 5 inches longer. It's 4.7 inches longer. The wheelbase is 6.4 inches longer. The height is 2 inches, and the width is another inch. So you can see like the back profile where the KL was very jelly bean like. You lost a lot of cargo space. They make it boxy. I mean, it still has a slant to it, but it's very much more boxy. And the cool thing is behind the rear seat, if you actually sit there, you get 1 more full inch of legroom. It doesn't sound like a lot, but if you're tall, you definitely have more legroom. So that's good. Here's the colors too, if you want to know about the colors. These are the colors. So there's bright white, silver zenith, Baltic gray, diamond black, hydro blue, 41 green, red hot, and there's copper chino right there. So again, it's like this brownish with like a kind of a gold hint to it. Looks really cool. They didn't show us that. They showed us a bright white, or no, I'm sorry. It was the silver. It was, yeah, I'm trying to think. It was that limited one that was there. And they had a red hot Overland and then the blue one on stage. I'm pretty sure it was silver zenith, but we didn't get to see the cappuccino in person. So, and then again, if you look at the actual design, they didn't want to mimic everything being like an XJ. And I'll show you. The funny thing is Vince was up here and he was talking because now he's head of design completely for, Jeep. You can see that there's a lot of hints of, XJ in there. And XJ was the vehicle. Like I said, he even said that a lot of the people that were working on this vehicle had XJs growing up. Their family had XJs. He actually showed a picture of his family's first Jeep, and he was, I think, 12 years old. Right at the beginning when he came up, he was talking about when he was 12 years old, and he had a picture of him right here. Let's see if I can kind of see it over here. But he had a picture when he was 12 years old out in Nevada with his parents, and they had like a steel blue kind of XJ and it was a base model too. It was kind of cool because it had steel wheels on it. But he said that that was the vehicle that got his parents buying Jeep for their lifetime, and that's what they're hoping with this vehicle. They're hoping that this vehicle will actually bring people to the brand for a lifetime, because a lot of people started out with, hey, I need a family SUV, and the Cherokee was like the midsize, you know, go-getting SUV, and they're hoping that this one will do the same too. So again, there's a lot of design efforts into it. Ryan Nagoti said, you know, basically the interior, let me see if I can go do it real quick. Here's your interior options. So they have different materials. So again, if you get like a sport, or not a sport, I keep saying a sport because I'm so used to Cherokee having a sport model. It's just Cherokee now. If you have a Cherokee, just the base model, it comes with either black or black labyrinth cloth. Okay. Or I'm sorry, just black. It comes with black cloth. Black, what they call sole cloth. And then if you get the Laredo, you can get black labyrinth cloth or black Antarctic labyrinth cloth. And then if you step into the limited, you get black capri vinyl with this like performance accents to it, or perforated accents to it. You can get that in black or black and Arctic white. And then you can get the Apex perforated leather, which is in the Overland. So that's even more of a premium vehicle kind of feel. So again, there's not actual leather in it. It's all, you know, recycled materials and stuff, but it also helped keep the cost down because leather is very expensive and whatnot. So there was little tricks that they did to keep the cost down in this vehicle. Another thing was they didn't, like I said, they didn't put like top of the line screens and everything. They did put a really nice 12.3 inch driver display in there. So basically it uses the FALD, basically full array local dimming. So no matter where you look at it, it kind of comes into focus, which is really nice. It does have Captic Touch. It's got a whole bunch of different things that obviously everybody's come to know with Uconnect 5. And then that's standard across the lineup. You cannot get a screen bigger than 12.5. And then the driver display is standard across the lineup. It is 10.25. It's the same thing that's in, like, you know, the Wagoneer S and stuff and the lower model. But anyways, this is standard across the lineup. So again, if you go to buy one of these vehicles, you don't feel like, hey, you know, I have to upgrade to another vehicle to get better equipment. You can upgrade I believe it's going to have the same Alpine stereo system that the Charger Daytona has. So basically you have like a 556 watt stereo system, and then you have like a 914 watt stereo system option, but the head unit and everything stays the same. And then all of these Jeeps too, all of them too come with active lane management, level 2 driving assist. So basically all you have to do is put your finger on the steering wheel, and the vehicle, as long as it can read the lines, will drive itself. So that's kind of cool. It does have or pedestrian and cycle emergency braking, blind spot monitoring. It's standard with rear cross path detection across the lineup. Forward collision warning with emergency braking is standard as well. So there's a bunch of tech that they've added in as standard equipment as well on this vehicle. So the only thing I don't think it has standard is adaptive cruise control. That's the only thing I think it doesn't have. Maybe it does. I don't know. I can't remember. So, but anyways, yeah, you can see here, let me see if I can go back to it. 1 more inch of legroom, which doesn't sound like a lot, but when you're tall, it is, especially with now the actual roof being almost 2 inches taller. You do have a lot of headroom. So like for me being 6'1", I had plenty of legroom, and I put the seat back to where I sit, and my shins were kind of hitting the back of the seat, but it wasn't bad. It was very comfortable compared to like a Hornet or a Compass where you're cramped. For a person my size, I fit in this thing no problem. So Alpine standard with no, Alpine is going to be standard across the lineup now. The HK systems are not going to be in this vehicle, but you can go on and read about the whole thing right here on the channel. So I did like I said, you're going to see a video that not anybody else will see, because this is like a behind the scenes, like what they showed us 2 weeks ago. So you're going to actually see what they showed the media. I might do, now that the vehicle is launched, I will probably do the Q&A part of it too, because we talked about everything. We talked about other Jeeps. We talked about the Hemi. We talked about everything. I have that all recorded too, and I might do that as another video probably for later this weekend, so you guys can see what Bob and the team say about like upcoming product. The only thing we didn't talk about, really, believe it or not, was the Renegade. That was really the only vehicle we didn't talk about. We know the Renegade's coming, but it won't be here until 2028, or at least late 2027. So I'm waiting to see that, because they said that's going to be a $25,000 EV. I doubt it. I really do. So, let's see here. Cappuccino looks interesting. It does. Like, again, we didn't get to see it in person. We've just seen it on the screen. But again, it looks like a kind of like a brownish color with kind of like a gold hint to it. It looks actually really cool. Actually, Vince said out of all the colors, that was his favorite too. So, let's see here. I'd consider one if it was built in the U.S. and I'm in Canada. Well, hopefully that will be a move. Hopefully soon. I know like they're really trying to focus on kind of shifting things here in the U.S. And it doesn't make any sense to make Belvedere a body on frame plant. They are talking about this new pickup truck being body on frame. We've got confirmation that it will be body on frame. It sounds like, from what I've been hearing, is that truck will move to Toledo South. It's been back and forth between the UAW. A bunch of UAW members have told me it's been back and forth for Toledo South. But it sounds like Toledo South will probably get that. The Gladiator will probably realistically move to the Wrangler line, because the Wrangler and, the Wrangler's going to be replaced, I think, starting next year in Europe with the Recon. So they've already announced that the Grand Cherokee is not going to Europe anymore. And instead, in its place, is the Wagoneer S. So, Wagoneer S will replace the Grand Cherokee, mainly because it's built in Mexico compared to where the Grand Cherokee is built in the U.S. The tariffs are cheaper. Plus, on top of that, there's more regulations in big cities for EVs. They have like these city centers that are more, for EVs, where they have like no emissions. What's it? Ultra zero emissions zones or whatever, or something like that. Something crazy like that. But anyways, and with the 4xe, you can basically run it on gas and then press for EV only, as long as you have battery to run around there. The problem is because of that price of that vehicle with the Grand Cherokee, and them only selling 4xes over there, on top of tariffs, and the vehicle is an E segment vehicle. The Wagoneer S is a slightly smaller D segment vehicle. It makes it better for European roads. So they've already confirmed that, and it sounds like they were talking about the Recon basically moving over to Europe and replacing the Wrangler, because again, the Recon's going to be an open air vehicle. It's going to be a D segment vehicle, so it'll be smaller than a Wrangler a little bit, but it'll be all electric. And again, being built in Mexico, it doesn't have the tariffs like the US stuff does over there. So hopefully, if that's the case, they can make the switch over to, the Wrangler side for the Gladiator, move this new pickup there, and hopefully be building some unibody stuff again at Belvedere. I know the people at Belvedere, like, I've had a bunch of people message me saying, like, they were really worried about having one product with this midsize pickup being there. They want to see multiple products, because what happened with the last generation Cherokee is during the pandemic, when they had the semiconductor shortage, they kept getting shut down over and over and over again, because demand for the Cherokee was down, because the Compass was cheaper and it was about the same size interior room, and it was cannibalizing it. So if you only have one vehicle running at the plant, you're kind of limited, because we're seeing that right now with the Wagoneer and the Grand Wagoneer at Warren Truck. They only have one shift going, and because of they're producing more Hemis at the Saltillo North engine plant. The problem is the Hurricane engines, the Hurricane 6 engines, T6 engines, aren't being produced as much. So what does the Wagoneer and stuff have exclusive to? Hurricane engines. So they were actually pulling the Hurricane engines from that plant and putting them in the Ram trucks at Shap. So that was putting Warren Truck down. So again, it takes money to do all this stuff, and that's the thing. Stellantis doesn't have a lot of money right now. Stellantis instead is, focusing on launching the products that they've already got it almost accomplished. The Hemi is like a quick cash grab. They can do, put that back into the Ram 1500 and bam, 40,000 additional units, because everybody wants a Ram 1500 with a Hemi. And again, the reason why it's going back to the Ram so quickly is because in 2024, It was in that truck. They can skip 2025 and bring it back. I think there's I want to say like there's a 12 to 15. I'll have to check. There's like a 12 to 15 month, kind of like, how can I say it? There's like a leeway time that you can, drop a powertrain and then bring it back without having to go through all the reevaluations and all the testing and stuff for the government. And a lot of people think like, hey, CAFE is dead. Trump killed it. It's not dead. It's just been moved back to like 2008 regulations. They still have to do CAFE, and they still have to go through and get MPG mileage for the EPA. There's, when you do a new powertrain too, you have to do NVH, so your noise and vibration and all that stuff. That's the reason why the Ram 1500 came back with e-torque only. Because if you remember, in 2024, Ram basically said, hey, we're going to put e-torque only into the vehicles as standard. Before, in 2023, you can get the standard Hemi, and then you can get the e-torque system. So that's why it came back. Now, could the e-torque system, the non-e-torque system come back for 2027? Yeah, it could. Definitely could. But for right now, standard is the e-torque system Hemi. And that's all because it was the fastest way to get it back into the lineup. So again, when people ask me about the Grand Cherokee and stuff, a lot of the times when you're looking at the Grand Cherokee, they haven't had a Hemi in the Grand Cherokee L since 2023. So now they have to go back through all that validation and all that testing and all that crap again. And Bob even said it before, they're working on bringing, more Hemis to the lineup. Well, he said it right during this thing, and he told us the same thing too. The problem is when you do that kind of stuff, you got a lot of freaking reevaluations and testing and EPA stuff you have to do no matter what. So it's going to take probably 15 months to 18 months for them to do that. So when he mentioned it to us at the media thing, we kind of all knew that it meant, when he was talking, it meant, Wagoneer, Grand Wagoneer, and for sure Grand Cherokee, because I think out of all the vehicles, the Grand Cherokee is the biggest one where people have been saying, hey, I want a Grand Cherokee L, and I want it to be able to tow. So it just makes sense. He did mention, obviously, a Gladiator model coming. Well, he didn't really say it. Well, if you watch the video, he actually hinted at it. But the Wrangler, I know a lot of people are going to be ticked at the final edition, and then they had the final edition. Is not the final edition. It's going to continue on, and it's going to continue on probably until 2029. So, yeah, the 6.4 392 will stay in that vehicle for quite a while. But, yeah, their Hemis are coming back. And again, Bob's focusing on making the vehicles cheaper. Like I just told you, if you go on to Mopar Insiders today, even in Canada, they're pushing for cheaper prices. I did this article this morning, and basically it is the 2026 Gladiator is being lowered by about $11,000 in price. $11,400 in price compared to the 2025 model. So you can get an entry-level Gladiator Sport S, because they don't have the Sport, they just have the Sport S over there. It comes in at $52,290, and that's with basically all the shipping and all that stuff too. So again, they're really trying to combat everything with price, options. Bob also said another thing that was really interesting about Gladiator and Wrangler, and I'll do that for the video this weekend. But what he was saying is, he as a Jeep fan himself, he doesn't want to see, and again, he reads all Reddit and all that stuff. He hates when he sees that people can't afford a Mojave or a Rubicon, and they want certain options and they can't get it on the base model. Instead, they have to step up to the trim. So now what he's going to do is he's going to basically open up ordering kind of a la carte. So if you want certain options, you don't have to step up to the top trims. So it's going to be very interesting to see what they do, because he didn't really release anything just yet on what options he's doing. He talked about body colored fender flares. You can't get them on a Sport, but yet you can get them on certain Sport S models. But you can also get them on, obviously, Overland. Well, they don't have the Overland anymore, but on Mojave and Rubicon. But, he talked about hey, I want to make sure that, people can get what they want when they come to Jeep. And again, everything's about being more affordable. So he's really pushing that. So again, you're seeing it for the first time with the new Cherokee in its pricing structure. We haven't seen the Canadian pricing structure just yet. I'm sure I'm going to get it in the next day or so. But again, this is going to be a huge launch for Jeep because this is the second biggest market in the US and Canada, the D SUV segment for volume. So let's see here. On Facebook Marketplace, there was a Dodge 1985 Turbo Z. Sweet. Did you see the Turbo Z that was I posted yesterday? There was a right here, an 86 Turbo Z on Bring a Trailer, and it's the CS model. So that's really cool. But that's on there. It's got a few things that are wrong with it. I looked at the badging on it. Around the driver's side badging, it's got some cracks in the paint. I don't know. But the interior is super clean. And I think this one, how many miles does this thing have? It's got really low miles. It's got, let's see here. Now you got me sidetracked, but this one has, oh, come on. I know I put it in here. It has, did I not put it in here? I guess I didn't. I think this only has like 24,000 miles or something crazy like that in it. Oh, let me see. I know I thought I put it in here. I had to because I said he only put 500 miles on it. Right here. We can just look at the picture. Whoops. Wrong one. Let's see here. Let's click off that. Oh, I'm sorry. It's got 55,000 original miles on it. 55,116. There it is, right there. Duh. With just 55,000 miles on it. So, anyways, yeah, there's your Daytona Turbo Z right there. It's not the one that's on Facebook Marketplace, but this one's actually up on Bring a Trailer. Let me go back real quick. Let's see here. Well, they're going, what did he say? Well, they're all going to by way of ordering now, Todd. So copper and red will be ordered more, I think. Well, that's, again, they're not trying to push ordering, but they're saying if you want to be able to order exactly what you want, they're going to try to give you exactly what you want. It's not going to be like you're limited, like you can't get those options on anything but the premium models. So yes, you will have to wait a little bit longer. You're probably going to get a better deal on something that's, put on the lot. But there is the option for those who like to order exactly what they want. They can get it from now on. Why don't they just build the Ram midsize along the Gladiator? They're on the same platform. Well, we haven't confirmed that yet. There's going to be some differences for sure.